Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Thursday, March the 12th, 2026, during the third week of Lent. And the lectionary reading is from the New Testament book of Ephesians, a letter written by the Apostle Paul to the community of Christians living in Ephesus, a major city in modern-day Turkey. It was called a circular letter because it was intended for the community in Ephesus as well as nearby Christian groups, and it was addressed to both Gentile and Jewish believers. The Apostle Paul was at this time in a Roman prison, and the letter aimed to encourage the communities on what it meant to be a Christian, both in faith and in practice, regardless of any specific problems present in the community now or in the future. The lectionary reading is Ephesians chapter 4, verses 25 to 32. The Apostle Paul reminded the community that they had been taught to abandon their former way of life, be renewed in their minds, and to put on the new self. They were now to be united as one, and he warned them, first of all, to stop lying to your neighbors and to speak the truth. Living close to each other sometimes made them angry, but they were not to let their anger control them. The solution was to curb their anger, as holding onto it for a long time could lead to sin. Thieves were told to stop stealing and seek work instead, so they could have the opportunity to be generous to those in need. Using foul and abusive language towards one another was prohibited. Instead, they were to speak words of encouragement to those who heard them. They were to get rid of all kinds of destructive attitudes, such as bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and evil behavior. Instead, they were to cultivate kindness towards one another, be tender-hearted, and to forgive one another, just as God, through Christ, had forgiven them. The Apostle Paul set a high standard of behavior for the community. He reminded them not to bring sorrow to God's Holy Spirit, who would empower and guide them to live together in peace with one another.